Hello, everyone. I am Cornelius Fichtner from pmprepcast.com, and we have just learned that PMI is going to be introducing enhanced PMP exam security in the coming days. And here is what we know at this time. We know that PMI has announced, yes, that they are introducing enhanced data forensics and security policies for the project management professional, the PMP exam. And this will go into effect on the 25th of September in 2023. But depending on where you live in the world, this may take up to 24 hours to be rolled out globally where you live. PMI further says that these updates, they uphold the integrity of the PMP certification and they reinforce the fairness and validity of the testing process. In addition to that, I've also seen an email in which PMI wrote that this is also intended to deter exam misconduct, so stopping from people doing anything untoward during the exam. And once you have heard what exactly is changing, you'll go, yes, that is definitely one of the intentions of why PMI is doing this here. So let us take a look at what it is that is changing. Here is what I understand is going to happen. So before September 25th here, when you took the exam as a candidate, you got preliminary results immediately at the end of the exam. So on screen, there would be a message that would say, congratulations, you passed, but this was only preliminary, and PMI has always spot checked their exams to make sure that nobody was cheating. And now, after the 25th of September, at the end of the exam, you will now see a message saying something along the lines that your answers have been sent to PMI, and you will get an email with the official exam results within 5 business days. And just to be absolutely clear here, right? After the 25th of September, you will no longer know whether you have passed or not. So no pass fail message is going to be on the screen. The only message on the screen that you will see is your answers have been submitted to PMI. Within 5 days, you'll get an email with the official information. And then during these 5 days, PMI will be analyzing your responses. Here is how this works. Until now, so before the 25th of September, PMI was doing data forensics and they were detecting misconduct. And if such a misconduct was found, then the exam was, as they say, invalidated. Now, PMI will start using enhanced data forensics to find if there might be something, well, untoward going on. This really shows that PMI is taking a thorough approach in checking exams for integrity. If such a misconduct is found, then the exam is now considered a security failure. And if that happens, then the candidate will receive an email notifying them that their score has been cancelled and that they will also not receive any more information about this particular security failure slash cancelled exam. To me, this really signifies that PMI is taking a more robust approach towards these potential security breaches. Overall, I think this is really a good change that PMI is making here to find all of these irregularities. And so what happens if your exam is affected by this? Well, until September 25th. If your exam was invalidated, then you could retake your exam however you liked, and that was, online or in person, and it was also free of charge. But under the new rules, the candidates who receive this security failure now, they can only retake the exam at the testing center, so they must go in person to a testing center, and this is going to be at your own cost. So no more free retakes here. Oh, there is one more thing that you need to know about this retake, because PMI says also that a security failure will count towards your 3 exam attempts. Let me explain what that means. You probably know that when you prepare, when you sign up for the PMP exam, you have 1 year during which to take your exam. Okay. And during that time, you have 1, 2, 3 attempts during which you can take the exam. So you can fail it twice and then pass on the third time. So if you have a security failure on your first attempt, well, that means the first attempt is gone. You have the second and the third. If that happens during your second attempt, well, the second one is gone. You have the third. And if it happens during your third attempt, you're done. You have to reapply, you have to wait for it, you have to reapply, and then you can take the exam again. But it really means that you lose an attempt in this particular scenario of a security failure. So this is how it stands right now. This is what we know right now. You probably have questions already. I have an FAQ coming up, a very small FAQ with about 3 questions, I think. If you have any questions, please do stop by. You can see this here on the screen, pm-prepcast.com/forum. Please do feel free to post your question there in the forum about this these enhanced security features. I will try to answer them as best as I can. Here are a few questions that you may have. I'm scheduled to take another PMI exam, maybe the CAPM, maybe the ACP, maybe the RMP, not the PMP exam. Am I going to be affected? The information from PMI is such that it indicates it's only for the PMP exam. So at this time, my answer is no. This is only for the PMP exam. If you are taking any other PMI exam, you are not going to be affected by this. Obviously, a question that comes to mind is this here. If you have a security failure, why does PMI now make you retake the exam in person? Well, PMI says that this is so that additional security protocols can be followed. And this doesn't mean that when you now go to the center, you're suddenly going to have to go through additional security checks. No, no, no. When you go to a center, there are automatically additional security protocols in effect. Well, you're there, first of all, right? They have more control over you. They can see your passport, check your passport. They can see you in person, make sure that you are who you say you are. So these are these additional security protocols. And this will then eliminate any doubt, that, well, you are who you are. And also, if you then pass at the testing center, that exam result is beyond reproach, right? This is definitely a good exam, no questions asked there. Another question you may have is, well, why aren't they giving it to me for free? I didn't do anything wrong, right? Why do I have to pay for the retake? To me, this really indicates that there may have been quite a large number of these old, previously invalidated exams up till now. And for all of these, PMI would give candidates a free retake. But that's really only free for the candidate, right? PMI was probably still charged by Pearson VUE, the company that does the exams for PMI. So PMI has to pay Pearson VUE for all these free retake exams. And that, in my opinion, could have been a potential cost factor for PMI. And now they are shifting that cost factor over to the candidate, which of course eliminates the PMI's cost in this particular scenario here. And then finally in my FAQ, this question here: do these new rules apply to online exam taking or also when you take the exam at the center? So it's quite obvious. PMI says if you're taking the exam online, we will no longer tell you you have passed that preliminary information. No, you have to wait for 5 days. But if you're going to the center, is that going to be the same? Will PMI also tell you at the center, yep, thank you for submitting your questions. We're now going to review them. We'll tell you in 5 days. We don't know about this, right? It is not specified. And because it is not specified, I would assume that PMI is rolling this out across the board. So whether you're taking it at the center or online, you are no longer going to be no longer going to know whether or not you have passed or not. Okay, so this is my very short FAQ here. Don't forget pmprepcast.com/forum if you have any questions. I now have a little bit of an analysis and an insight for you here. But before I do that, I want to say I really applaud PMI for doing this and for enhancing their security, because this will go a long way of ensuring that the integrity of the PMP exam is upheld at the highest possible standard there. So this to me is a good change that PMI is doing, because I have seen, let me go back on screen here again. I have seen companies in my very own discussion forums who have offered services where they send somebody to take the exam for you, right? And that's obviously a really bad thing to do, right? That is not good for the integrity of the PMP exam. And if PMI sees these kind of things, nipping this in the bud, that's a good thing to do. All right, let's look at the analysis here as well as the insights that I have for you. So first of all, the first thing, update publication. PMI is communicating well, right? They will update the handbook. They said there is going to be an FAQ about this. The PMP main page will be updated by PMI. But in the end, there's only so much that PMI can do, and many candidates will probably still miss this information and not see or not know that this is happening. Then there is obviously that delay in the exam results. You no longer know, have I passed or not? Yeah. Uh, the, the results are communicated later on within 5 business days. This might increase anxiety levels among the candidates, but it also indicates that PMI is taking a thorough approach in checking exams for integrity. Additionally, if you are unaware of that change, you might question that delay. Uh, is this about my exam submission? Were there technical problems? What's going on? Why aren't they telling me why I passed or not? Right? So there's going to be some anxiety there about this until everybody is used to this. There's going to be an additional instructor burden, right? These new exam security measures. There is a responsibility on instructors like myself to ensure that our students are adequately informed and prepared for the altered feedback timeline. And furthermore, we may face an influx of post-exam inquiries, right, from students going, hey, why is this? What's going on, right? And this may mean, additional dedicated time and resources to address your concerns and provide clarity to my students about this. Then we have that terminology change there. Previously, when misconduct was identified, the exam was simply termed as invalidated. Now, with the new policy, they call this a security failure. And this shift in language really emphasizes the gravity of such a potential misconduct. And it does align with the stricter measures that PMI is, in fact, implementing. Yes, and then what is the candidate impact of all of this? Yeah, while these changes are really essential for the integrity of the certification, they might and probably will increase stress, uncertainty among test takers. The delay in the feedback, coupled with these stricter retake policies, could affect candidates' preparation and approach to the exam. There could even be unforeseen consequences coming out of this that we can only assess a year or so from now. Yeah, and that's really it for my analysis and insights here. In the end, only time will tell. The enhanced security measures for the PMP exam underscores PMI's commitment for upholding, the gold standard, as they call it, of project management certification. It should ensure trust and credibility in the industry, right? And embracing these changes elevates the value of the credential for the candidates, but it also reinforces the integrity and dedication to excellence that the PMP exam represents globally, right? And I truly hope that these changes will bring what PMI is hoping that it will bring. Okay. One final time, if you do have a question about these changes, don't hesitate. pm-prepcast.com/forum, and I will do my best to answer these questions that you post there, that you have, as timely as I possibly can. And with that, we have come to the end of this quick update for you. Thank you for being here, and as always, until next time.